Deb Halfrich, hashtag Redheaded She-Hulk, and I'm the founder of hashtag Wellbeing Philosophy. It's been a few hours since my RosaParks-ing video, and I just wanted to demonstrate my mental fitness, that was a performance, and it had been brewing since Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. I took the original fully scared version that I recorded at that time, and after having reflected on it a little bit, realized that there was an appropriate and useful metaphor of RosaParks-ing. My big brain, my subconscious, my artistic flow integrate that. And this morning is again the last 3 nights. I haven't gotten any sleep. That's what causes emotion. Uncontrollable emotion. Emotion just like that must be expressed. You see, if we don't express our emotions and then figure out what to do with them and express them appropriately, not at other people. There's Zanzibar. But as a society, realize that these tools of technology are quite useful and that we can film ourselves in rage and then critique ourselves and find out, well, which parts of it, or in fear, or in jealousy, or in frustration, or in confusion. How do we navigate this complex world that we're in? So I've moved off. I'm in the rarefied environments. I don't know how well you can see. Of Shady Side, adjacent. I don't really come here that often. Because I have to burn fossil fuels, moving around every 2 hours. That's luxury. Most of the parking in the vicinity of campus that's walkable is 1 hour parking. We've built this civilization and required that we all have these fossil fuel guzzling vehicles. We haven't provided the parking. This is entirely, I'm sure that the parking team on campus are constantly being hassled and that they're just treating me like they treat everyone else. They're not looking that they're comparing apples to onions. I am living in my car. This is an entirely different situation that requires an entirely different approach to enforcement. All over the U.S. of hypocrisy, there are laws and rules. And by the way, this parking is not a law, it's a rule. And it's one that has no context to it. For an alumni, during a pandemic, being ignored because everyone is off in their own tiny little boxes of homes, schooling their children, lost a loved one, scared of how the life they knew, the hobbies they used to be, the socializing they used to get to do, it's all been taken from them. I'm not the cause of my problems. And you are not the cause of your problems. We keep blaming individuals for civilizational level problems. Now, why I turned this video on is because I also have to say that I am suffering from the dramatic health consequences of global warming. That's right, climate change is actually what's wrong with me, why I can't get a job. While, of course, as I explained in the description of RosaParks-ing, 52 years old and I haven't had a job for a decade because I self-funded my own disability, every single penny of it. I have not taken a single penny until I was destitute and homeless from anyone, any public system, anywhere. With no family or friends, I held out until destitute and homeless. Let's make this clear. I spent my stimulus check driving from Seattle to Pittsburgh because the only option I logically had was to cash in my chips as a Carnegie Mellon alumni. I refuse to join the system of social support in Pittsburgh, not because I'm white and privileged, but because I have other options. Now that these other options are entirely themselves, even with an enormous endowment, feeling, just assuming that they're overstressed, I have an enormous amount of respect. My first job after Carnegie Mellon, my first real job, as I did work at Kaufman's. I am a Steeltown original, let me tell you something. My first job was at People's Oakland, a community mental health organization that I couldn't have asked for a better first job. Very, very non-traditional. But it taught me the value of social work, of the valuable humans who do that work, and the priceless souls who need those resources. I don't need any mental health counseling. I don't need to talk. I don't need sympathy. I need a job that I create because I am certain that the value I offer human health is extraordinarily rare and crucial. So back to, even in this rarefied air, carbon monoxide is making me feel bad. It is making me irritable. It is making me feel like I need to fall asleep. Well, probably lack of sleep too. It is making me feel like I might have COVID symptoms, and I don't. There's a burning in my nostrils, just because there was one big, huge dump truck that drove by here, because all these fancy houses are getting renovated in the pandemic. And so I started a Socratic monologue in my brain talking about the fact that all of us are suffering from the health effects of global warming, climate change, which, to be more precise, are the unchecked effects of rampant industrialization. Now here's what happens. All of these things, whether it's petrochemical scents, exhaust from cars, cigarette smoke, smoke of any kind, they're producing carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is not just in excess out in the atmosphere, way far away in a concept you don't know. It's right here in our near-in atmosphere. It's the air that we're breathing. And when you become spontaneously irritable, angry, frustrated, you snap at somebody, that is because your body has tipped out of homeodynamic balance, and it's sending you alarm that something in your air, and I'm talking about these situations where you have no idea, you're walking down the street, you're perfectly happy, all of a sudden you snap at somebody. We're all experiencing it. And it is due to global warming. And it might just be carbon monoxide. It might be, again, a chemical scent. It might be a trigger in your past of some sort of situation that you're encountering that makes you feel scared or angry. Again, Proust's Madeleine Smells stimulate our amygdala, stimulate our emotions in ways that we're going on in our brain talking about, my boss is really upsetting me. And all of a sudden we smell exhaust. And you snap at the next person, and you think it's that person. It's something that person is doing. We're such visual creatures. We snap at what we see. We don't understand that it was the smell that triggered the emotion in the body response. Look, think about when you're hungry and thirsty, as I am also right now due to lack of money. Your body starts giving you signals. Then more urgent signals, then more insistent signals. You are literally unable to use your fancy brain. It's not that it's big, it's that it's fancy. Your fancy brain can no longer think about your future, create an artistic product. Your fancy brain is now offline because your body's like, feed me, give me something to drink. We know these alarms. What we don't know, because as a modern contemporary civilization, we've really atrophied the sense of smell. I haven't. I am valuable in that way, and I'm valuable in about 3,333 other ways. And I can talk about human health. But anyway, back to the sense of smell. And finish this thought and this lovely video before my battery goes kaput. We're all in this together. We are all experiencing what I'm going through. I have put my life at risk in order to be able to help the greatest global good. As the globe's original #wellbeing philosopher, the she Einstein of consciousness, the she Sherlock of human health, which I don't want to get into the medicine battle. I call it the she Sherlock of human energy, potential, and well-being. Because I'm actually much more interested in potential. I'll help you all out on the health front, then all the medical researchers can come in and test out my hypotheses while I'm talking about how to make us all more creative, while I'm fixing our civilization so that we have a framework where every human has a UBI. That's the term I like to use. I call it a thrivable wage, which is fruitful and fulfilling work. Every human deserves that. If they are born on Earth, we need a civilization set up to figure out how to give them fruitful and fulfilling work. That will solve every problem. We don't need to defund the police. There will be no police if every adult has fruitful and fulfilling work at a thrivable wage. All right, harmony.